Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the grow room, guys. So as you know, we're doing the lighting side-by-side, with this journal number 4. And we were going to be testing a more expensive light, not the most expensive, Mammoth lighting right here behind me, 800 watt, against MarsHydro, which has some of the most affordable lights I've been able to find. Specifically, we're going to be testing a 300 watt. We're going to do gram per watt to really compare weights. We're also going to be, we want to see if the spectrum makes a big difference. Will we get, better yields? Will we get different, morphology of the plant based on the spectrum they use? Blues, reds, far reds, etc. Is it going to change anything on our lab results, like our cannabinoids, THCs, and terpenes? So that's what this test is for. But since I just got the Mars light, which is what this cord is actually, and I just got to installing it, I wanted to kind of go over from start to finish all the pros and cons, right? Including the build quality, at least from my opinion. So I'm just going to point out some differences, things that I do and don't like about the MarsHydro light, and in comparison to the Mammoth. And Mammoth has had some updates. This is an older 800 watt because it's about a year and a half old. They did just come out with them earlier this year that does have some of the changes, and I'll point that out. So let me go ahead and flip the camera. I'm going to try not to show the plant so YouTube doesn't get mad at me, so I'm going to try to just show the light. So if you guys wonder why I'm zooming in on stuff, that's why. Okay, so here's the light. Right away, what's noticeable? This shit ton of wires. So I am not a fan of this whatsoever. It's very ugly, very cluttery. I'm like trying to twist tie them together and balance them so that way it doesn't make the light teeter to one side or the other. That is partially due because this light can be mounted remotely. Same with Mammoth's newer lights. Not these lights. They cannot be mounted remotely. They are stuck on there. And since this is such a big thing, these are very heavy. This is a 40-pound light. This right here is 11.7. If I would have got their 800 watt, it's only 26 or 27 pounds. So it's still almost half the weight of Mammoth. So MarsHydro has very light lighting, weight-wise. It also goes together super simple. It's all just, no tools needed, just twist things on. Gives you little dots where to put things if you want to, which I like that it has the gap here. Because if you guys notice, this has arrows of where to put things, and I gap them over to gap my center because it gets too hot in the center. So I like that their design already does that. I think Mammoth does do that on their newer designs as well. So they're catching up to the stuff all of us growers already kind of figured out, right? So because all of these drivers pop on individually from above, the bars, you can twist this off and take it off really easily. So it's going to make maintenance super easy on this. All the drivers are located in this, so they're not individual. So I'm not sure how big of a pain that'll be if one ends up going out. Contrary to Mammoth over here, it's all isolated together. Each driver is individually changeable, which is nice, but you have to take this whole cover off to do it. And this cover is bolted to this front plate, which is to this hook. So you actually have to take your entire light down to replace a driver. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case with this, even with it mounted on top, because I can just simply pop those off. Also, these right here are on this railing, if you could see it. So even though these twist to keep it from moving, like tightens it on, it's actually slid onto this railing. So if I want to replace one, I have to slide all of them off to replace the one I want to replace. So that's not ideal. I don't know if their newer design fixed that problem, like how they have the removable drivers. So I think they may have done some updates to make it better. I think this was their first 800 watt coming out with. So hopefully the new ones are improved, but that's just where I've seen pros and cons. One big pro as well on this with Mammoth is their additional cording. I have 250 volt or 240 volt, whatever you want to call it up there, where it has, instead of the vertical slits, it has the horizontal slits. I can't remember, it's like NEMA 6 or NEMA 9 plugs. I can't remember exactly what the name of the plug is. If you're an electrician, you probably know, but I'll show you the difference. This is MarsHydro, right? These are the vertical lines, right? I run the 240 ones up there that I ran, and they go sideways. So it said on when I ordered this that it could do either up from 110 up to 250 volts. So I thought it would have two different cords that are interchangeable. This cord on here, and you can't see it on the camera, but it has really fine lighting. It says 100 to 300 volts. So if this cord right here can do 300 volts, it's really weird that it doesn't have sideways plugs. I guess because it does the full range, but normally they run horizontal. It's kind of a pain. Now I have to plug it in down there instead of plugging it where I have all of my other lights plugged. So I'm gonna email and see if I can get another one. That was a little bit of a pet peeve of mine because I kind of had to remove things around to get this where I want it to be plugged in. one other thing I don't think I've mentioned yet was that these hanging points, the little eyes you screw in, it tells you where to put them, but you can move them. So I'm in here by myself and I couldn't measure from the wall here to make sure these were exactly aligned. And I was eyeballing it because normally I'd have someone hold the end because it's, 4 feet, 5 feet that way. And my tape measure kept falling because I couldn't get my ladder over far enough due to all the stuff on the ground. So I kind of eyeballed it and I was pretty close, but this one's about 1 inch that way, which was making this tilted a little bit. So I can actually unscrew these and move them down to kind of move the whole thing over. And because I got so much of this, I can just change my weight distribution with all this nonsense up here. But so, I mean, that's kind of a fun thing. I like that I can move these around the hanging points to be able to hang this as I need to in case I don't hang it 100% perfectly as I did this time around. I did these ones pretty damn good, but not every time. This is what I get for rushing, right? You can see where I missed right there. I thought that was a stud. Stud finders are horrible, man. Don't use stud finders. You're better off just knocking. But all right. So that's what it is. Those are the pros and the cons so far. I am going to work on, I did message MarsHydro to see if I can get a discount code. So if you guys like it, something you guys can get cheaper on. I did get one from Mammoth. They're putting one up. I think it's going to be tri-state. So tri-state. And if I have it, I'll go ahead and I'll pop it up right now to show you guys. And that'll be good for any country, free shipping on any product, no limit, which when I ordered these, shipping was, I want to say on the low end, $48 to the high end of like $400. So if that's still what the shipping is, that code will save you, it'll save you almost what the cost of this light is. So that's pretty amazing because, I mean, the lights are heavy and obviously it goes by weight. So that's something I can give you guys. I'll pop that up. So shout out to Mammoth. That's the first time they've never been able to provide one before. So maybe I'm finally, wearing them down. So hopefully Mars will have one that I can give you guys codes on both things. So whichever one you like, you can go with and, pick your poison. But that's it. I think I covered everything I need to so far. Those are the pros and the cons straight out of the box with the hanging. Loving the lightness of this. I heard other people say that it seemed like a janky build. Like, I don't think so. Like, I think this is just as sturdy as other lights that I've seen. Not only just the Mammoth, but just everything in general. Maybe because it's small and it's really hard to be not sturdy this size. But, I mean, I don't really know about this whole plastic thing. Cutting on weight, I guess. I don't know. It seems weird, but I guess it's so it can snap on and off. But really, this is the big pet peeve. This right here and the cord. So I'm going to email them about the cord and this nonsense. I'm going to have to figure this out. Maybe if I was mounting this, over on the wall here, it'd be better. For you in the tent, you guys in the tent, maybe this isn't an issue and it's better. But, me mounting on this on a wall is actually just more trouble than it's worth. I'd rather have it up here. My AC blows up high, so it actually cools these down first. So I think that's it. I think I covered everything. I'll end it here. I'll make sure I put the discount code also in the descriptions if you guys are interested. If you guys want to support the channel, just give it a thumbs up. Other than that, I'm going to end it here. So peace out, YouTube. And as always, guys, happy growing, man.